The way we are disrupting the space, right, is by helping manufacturing really transform themselves from being reactive to really becoming proactive with their customer base through AI by arming their sales and marketing users with the kinds of insights that was just science fiction a few years ago.
Welcome to the Inside Forbes Councils podcast. Each episode shares transformative insights and advice from members of Forbes Councils, a group of invitation-only communities for successful executives and entrepreneurs. This is Inside Forbes Councils.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the third episode of the Inside Forbes Councils podcast. My name is Stephen Ganoza, and I'm the producer of the Inside Forbes Councils podcast. So today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to have a bit of a Q&A with Forbes Councils member Mandar Parikh. Mandar is Vice President of Product Management at Entytle. Entytle uses AI to help manufacturers grow faster by reducing churn, increasing upsell, and recapturing lost wallet share from their installed base. So welcome, Mandar, and to kick us off, let's have you introduce yourself to our listeners.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mandar Parikh, and I'm currently Vice President of Product Management at Entytle. We're a software as a service company based in Palo Alto, California. And we service the industrial manufacturing vertical. We have a AI-powered customer engagement platform for manufacturers.
Great. So tell me a little bit about your background. How did you get to where you are? How did you become an expert in AI and machine learning?
So my background is actually in computer science. I have a bachelor's degree in computer science from Rutgers, a master's also in computer science from Stanford, and an MBA from Chicago Booth. And I've worked for a number of different companies, large and small, all in Silicon Valley for the last 20 years. And some of the companies I work for include WebMD, Salesforce.com, and recently gone public, Zuora Inc. How did I come about to be an expert in AI? Well, so for the last kind of 5+ years, I've been focused on the intersection of AI and enterprise software, and I've had the good fortune of working with world-class teams of data scientists and engineers to really conceive, build, and launch what I'd call really game-changing, one-of-a-kind solutions that are disrupting entire industries.
Okay, well, we hear these terms thrown around a lot, right? Machine learning, AI, they make good headlines and such. But let's take a step back, just so that we're all on the same page. Let's define these terms. What is machine learning? What is AI?
Sure, absolutely. So machine learning and AI, right? Artificial intelligence. So I actually think AI and ML are pretty synonymous. They get used, pretty synonymously in my experience. And I think of AI as the technology that really makes it possible for machines to process vast amounts of data and to recognize patterns and eventually to think like a human brain. So it is the ability for machines to reliably recognize handwriting, for example, or to recognize somebody's face, or to play chess, or to drive a car, or to have a conversation with a human being, right? But beyond becoming more human-like, and that is a pretty hard task to do, but because machines can process gargantuan amounts of data in a reasonable time frame, AI really makes it possible for machines to solve problems that are just way too large or too complex for the human brain. So, for example, using AI to detect or predict different types of cancers, or predicting drug interactions, or even finding cures for diseases, right? Or doing real-time language translation, right? That universal translator from Star Trek is really not science fiction anymore. So that's what I think of machine learning and AI.
Okay, great. So you're in the industrial manufacturing space today. How are these technologies disrupting industrial manufacturing?
Sure. So, first of all, AI is disrupting many different industries, right? Not just industrial manufacturers. And I just gave a bunch of examples from the medical and the healthcare industry. But let's say take the agricultural space. This is one of my favorites. There's an AI-powered robot that can tell apart weeds from the crops, and it sprays herbicides on just the weeds, right? That's a great example of AI being used to disrupt an otherwise, traditional industry, right? Or take call centers, right? you and I, we call, call centers, but most of the common questions can now be answered by AI rather than a human being. And manufacturing is no different. The opportunity to solve old and new problems, through AI is just enormous in manufacturing. So to give you some examples, let's talk about industrial manufacturing, which is the vertical that my company Entytle services. So to lay out the situation, these manufacturers have huge install bases, right? Hundreds or thousands of pieces of equipment in the field. What if AI could predict which of these customers needs a new part or service? What if the AI could predict an imminent kind of downtime with one of these customers? These kinds of solutions are now beginning to take shape, and we like to think that Entytle is actually at the forefront of these developments. And the way we are disrupting the space, right, is by helping manufacturing really transform themselves from being reactive to really becoming proactive with their customer base, right? We are helping large and small companies drive customer loyalty. We're really helping them drive organic growth at the end of the day through AI by arming their sales and marketing users with the kinds of insights that, was just, science fiction a few years ago.
Right, but in industrial manufacturing specifically.
Yep. And so those are just examples from medical or healthcare industries and other industries, but the same thing is happening with industrial manufacturing as well, right? AI is disrupting the whole industrial manufacturing space. So first of all, I think these technologies will really help industrial manufacturing with their digital transformation effort, and which in turn is going to transform every link in the entire manufacturing value chain. So it's going to result in increased value that the manufacturer provides to their customers. It's going to smooth out the manufacturer's revenue curve so that they can improve their ability to weather downturns in the economy. It's going to result in better customer satisfaction, improved customer loyalty, and it's going to result in increased organic growth. So I think it's really great for the entire industry. But why do I say this? And the reason I say this is because AI at the end of the day is going to enable manufacturers to become more proactive. And so the risks of downtimes and the stoppages really goes down dramatically. And essentially manufacturers can really begin to de-risk their installations. And so customers are then going to be assured that their installations are being run in the most optimal manner. And finally, and kind of as a shout out to my previous employer, Zuora, I think this is also going to enable manufacturers to move to selling subscriptions rather than widgets, right? And with subscriptions comes associated recurring revenue model. And so, to kind of bring it all together, what starts off as, hey, AI can help you predict customer behavior, that use case is going to transform into ripple effects across the entire vertical and the entire value chain.
Okay, great. So Mandar, how can people learn more about you?
So if any of the viewers want to, reach out to me or learn more about the industry that we service, please go to Entytle.com. My name again is Mandar Parikh, and I'm Vice President of Product Management at Entytle. So you can find me on the Entytle website.
Okay. Mandar, thank you so much for being here. You can learn more about Mandar and Entytle at Entytle.com. That's Entytle.com. That's all for today. Thank you for listening, and see you on the next episode.
This has been Inside Forbes Councils. Please be sure to subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you're a member of the Forbes Councils and would like to participate in our podcast series, please email your member concierge. If you're interested in joining a Forbes Council, learn more at ForbesCouncils.com.